Hey TechnoRVers, this is Eric and Tammy from TechnoRV. This video is hopefully the first of many to come. So as you may know, we put out a newsletter with educational articles once a month.
A little updates of what we've been doing as RVers as well.
Yep, more information like that. And what we decided is that we would also do a video version of that, to where, because a lot of times people go to like RV rallies and things like that, and we'll get up and talk about a lot of these topics, and we're like, well, we could just do that when these newsletters come out.
Plus, a lot of people don't want to read the newsletter, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people who would rather watch video.
Yes, and
Eric is one of those people.
yeah, I would.
Hold on.
Airplane.
Airplanes.
She's right. I would rather watch a video than read.
Right.
But the other thing that we're going to do that's really exciting, and is that we're actually going to do a giveaway on this video of a Garmin 780 GPS, RV GPS. And I think we should do that every time we do one of these newsletter videos. But I
like that idea.
Well, if you like it and I like it, then
yeah, there's nobody else really to vote.
So at the end of this video, we are going to draw from our newsletter list.
Yep.
For the Garmin 780. So I say we just get started, because we've got a lot to talk about.
It is. It's a jam-packed newsletter.
Yeah. So let's start off on kind of sort of what we did in September, and then we can roll into some of our articles in the newsletter.
Good idea. So some of you may not know, our home office where we are right now is in Mobile, Alabama.
Yes.
So the weather here, in September, has kind of dominated the month in a way.
Well, we've been dodging hurricanes. In fact, right now it's kind of windy right now, because Hurricane Delta is west of us, and we're getting some of these outer bands of winds. And so in September we had planned this grand trip.
Had it planned for a while, because we are rarely in this area in the summertime because we're traveling full time. But due to the pandemic, we kind of stayed put this year here. And one of our favorite things to do in the summer is to go scalloping in Port St. Joe. So the minute we realized we're going to be here all summer, let's book somewhere and catch scalloping this season.
Yes, and because our son was going to meet us there, we decided, hey, we'll leave the RV behind. We'll rent a house so we have more room, and we'll go down there and go scalloping. So Port St. Joe is in Florida. And it's this really small town, and the big thing that happens around there is scallop season. It's around August, September time frame.
There's a bay that that's where they go.
The scallops go, and you basically snorkel in about 3 feet of water.
Yeah, if that. Sometimes it's not even that deep.
Yeah, and then you just pick them up off the bottom, and they're kind of funny little creatures.
Yes, in the newsletter I included a little video of the little scallops swimming. I might can put it in this as well.
Yeah,
because it's adorable.
It is kind of funny. So anyway, we go there with this grand plan of having a nice sunny week. Well, Hurricane Sally comes along, and
our son even traveled from Atlanta to meet us.
He traveled from the safety of his home in Atlanta to a hurricane area in Port St. Joe.
That's the love he has for us.
And so this hurricane was huge. And the outer bands of it started hitting Port St. Joe probably 2-3 days before the eye of the hurricane actually hit land way west of us.
And this hurricane, they were not sure where it was going to hit. So it was kind of this, we watched a lot of the Weather Channel at that time. Sometimes they know where it's going to go. This one was like, what's it going to do? Oh my goodness. And so we really weren't sure what was going to happen.
Yeah. So what did happen is it rained the entire week when we were supposed to be scalloping.
Every day.
Every day. Every day.
The last day it did not.
So basically, it was bad, but for us it was like, hey, we get to spend a lot of time with our son inside. Now I'm not sure what he was thinking. He was probably thinking, what have y'all brought me down to? But
he's a trooper though.
So we got to play video games. He and I played a lot of guitar together. It really was a fun time.
It ended up being fun. We worked some during the day. We had a larger space than what we're used to in the RV, which was a nice little break.
And we actually had some RVing friends that
met us too.
Yeah, that met us they were at an RV park, and they would come over to the house.
Good enough friends, they too willingly came into a hurricane zone to
RV.
hang out.
Not that we would recommend that.
No.
So anyway, the last day, the sun broke through, and we did get to go out in the boat and go scalloping. We got about 3 gallons of scallops, so that was good.
Which really is only about 3 ounces of meat, but still fun.
But a few hundred miles away at the TechnoRV office was our RV, and the eye of the hurricane was coming up into Mobile Bay, which is not far from our office. So I was very concerned about our RV. I contemplated coming back and moving it, and then the time just got away from us. So ideally, again, like Tammy said, we wouldn't even be in hurricane area in our RV anyway,
never.
but it's just been kind of a strange year. 70, 75 mile an hour winds at the office. Now, over in the beach area, a little bit east of it, it was much worse than that. Luckily, the wind was blowing north to south, and it was blowing right into the windshield of the RV, which was sort of ideal.
Right.
Bottom line is, made it out without a scratch.
Yes,
everybody in the
no
TechnoRV
damage.
office is fine.
No issues at Port St. Joe other than bad rain.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, I guess there's
we were lucky. Not a lot of people weren't so lucky, but we were very lucky during it.
Yeah. So everybody's fine. So we're happy about that. Something else that we did recently is we just did another virtual rally.
We did.
Yeah. It was the Forest River Owners Group. We had partnered with them to do a virtual rally. There was over 10,000 people registered for this event, and we were the hosts of it. And we did a lot of this. We did a lot of videos
we did nightly,
and giving stuff away.
Nightly videos.
And that sort of thing. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out because in the newsletter, there is a little question there in the newsletter that says, hey, what do you think about just a TechnoRV rally? We've been doing it with like owners groups, which we love. But then we were like, well, we've got a big newsletter list, and we could do one for them from time to time.
The frog one was fun. We are Forest River owners with our new Rockwood Mini Light 2511.
Yep.
So that one, we were part of that group, even though you know they were an owners group that asked us to do that. But it would be cool to just do it for people that are TechnoRVers.
We could see. It's up to y'all, really. So there's something in the newsletter. Click it and say, hey, would you like to see that or not?
Basically, it had seminars and it had product specials and giveaways and contests and stuff you'd see at regular rallies.
Yeah, a lot of interaction. It's a great place to meet new RVers and things. So anyway, let us know if you're interested in that.
All right, so enough about that. Let's get into the technical articles of the newsletter, video articles.
3 of them. We got 3 articles.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so.
And you can find links to all these articles at technorv.com in the articles section. If after this you do want to go and read them, that's a quick way to find them if you don't want to go find the newsletter in your email.
So number 1, we just took on a new product. Called SoftStartRV. And
this is its actual launch. Even though it's been on the website for a few days and it has been super popular just in those few days, this is the official launch.
So what is a SoftStartRV? I can explain it in just a few sentences, I think.
Can you?
When you start an AC unit up, the amperage spikes to above 50 amps. But it's only for just a split second, like a 1/6 of a second. And then it comes back down and settles in after the compressor gets started. 12 to 14 amps is its running current. That spike can cause certain problems for RVers, mainly if you're in, say, a 30 amp RV with 1 AC unit and you want to try and run your AC on a small generator.
Which is popular.
It's very popular, but it can overload that generator. If you're in a 50 amp RV like this one, but you're on a 30 amp pedestal, normally you would only be able to run 1 air conditioner. But if you have soft starts installed on a couple of your AC units, you could actually run 2 air conditioner units on a 30 amp pedestal.
And you might be asking, why would you ever plug a 50 amp into a 30 amp? A lot of the older campgrounds don't have 50 amp yet. State parks, there's a lot of situations where we're only on 30 amp and we can only have 1 AC, which, you know, in a very hot place when you have a large RV, it is not ideal.
Not ideal, because basically,
especially with pets.
Yeah, I mean, this is designed to stay cool in a hot environment with 3 air conditioners. So if you can only run 1, you can sort of see how that's going to be a problem. And Mama Techno over here, she doesn't do good when it's too hot inside the RV. So you install these. It's easy too. There's only 5 wires. You install them to your compressor on your RV.
Which sounds so technical, But I actually recorded the installation video we did, and it's simply connecting 5 wires to 5 wires. It's really not that, I could easily have done it.
Yeah, well, you videoed me doing it.
Right, it was not difficult at all.
Yeah. And
the hardest part was getting on and off the roof.
Yeah, hey, be careful.
That I did not video for
that is
dignity reasons.
Heights are not my favorite thing, and so yeah, it's quite the scene. Me getting on and off the roof. I'm very like a magnet. I'm like stuck to things, you know. So, but anyway, the installation is easy, and
yeah, it is.
They're we sell them at TechnoRV, and we send out a learning series with all these links from SoftStart on how to install this on the different types of RVs that are out of there. And SoftStart has something where you can set up an appointment to where they will walk you through the install on the phone in real time,
That's
like while
so
you're on the
cool.
roof. So of course it's a quality product, but the customer service sort of put us over the top with
And
this.
you know, you don't get customer service like that when products aren't quality, because they would hate to be on the phone with you with their less than awesome product while you're installing it. So it actually says a lot about their product when they're willing to sit right there with you.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. They are not afraid of that. And so basically we've taken this product line on. I've already installed it on our RV. It works great. And I also did a interview with Mike Sokol, who is the RV electricity guy. That he's pretty much the expert in our
our
if
you're
industry.
going to get an electrical opinion on an RV
It's him.
product, it's him for
Yeah.
sure.
And so I did an interview with him that y'all can check out, and he talks about sort of how these work, what they're actually doing, but the idea here is that they levelize out that spike. So when normally it would take 1/6 of a second, and that would spike up to say 53, 54 amps. When the soft start's involved, it may take 1/3 of a second, but it levelizes that out to where maybe it's only just above 20 amps to start the RV's air conditioner before it drops down to that 12 to 14 amps. It's a great product.
It is, and before we started researching it, I thought that we couldn't run 2 air conditioners because while they're running, they pulled too much and they had too high of amps. It was just learning about this that it's really just 1/6 of a second.
It's that amount of time.
Much that it can't, you know, so that's the problem. It's not while they're running they exceed your ability to run it. It's that little kick at the beginning.
Yeah, they call it inrush, that spike at the beginning. And so anyway, check them out at TechnoRV, and that does bring us into the point of what you just mentioned of more of why did we choose them. We research. It's not like we just look at one brand. We go look at
what's the
all of them.
problem, what are all the solutions available, and then compare them and stuff.
And then so if for example there's multiple, say, quality units on the market, then we start digging deeper, okay, and looking into, hey, it's a quality unit, what other things set this company apart? Certainly the customer service, the quality of the product, the customer service of it, and
the reviews. We read all the reviews. You even called into their customer service department as a customer just to test them, just to make sure that what they offered is what you expected.
Yeah, I might have made up a name, but these are the things we do because we want to make sure that when you start interacting with companies that we deal with and offer to you, that you have a great experience. And so SoftStart's a great company. Go check it out at TechnoRV.com. And if you got any questions, just let us know.
I'll put the link in the video description below.
Okay.
All right, so off air conditioners, let's move to tires.
Yeah, so the next...
We have 2 articles about tires in the October newsletter.
I really like these. One of them is a bit technical, and it's called Ambient. How does ambient temperature affect tires?
Yes.
And I did preface this by saying, look, this is technical. I don't want people like stressing out too much over, a pound of pressure
There's
here.
There's a formula in the article, okay? So
if that tells you anything.
That tells you anything.
But in order to put the proper pressure into a tire, the way to do it is you have to get your RV weighed at each tire position is the best way to do this.
And we have another article about that.
We do. And then you take that weight and you apply it to the inflation chart that each manufacturer has for their RV. And then you just follow along, say, hey, I've got 5,000 pounds on this tire or across this axle or whatever. What should the pressure be of the tires? And then it'll just tell you. So the question that I get sometimes at seminars is, well, because ambient temperature can raise and lower the pressure of your tire, what temperature is the inflation chart making the assumption at? And that assumption is at 70 degrees. So if you're setting your tires pressure and you have your weight and you do that and it's like 80 degrees, well, you're 10 degrees above what the assumption is. So the formula here is that for every 10 degrees up or down from 70, that is the equivalent of
2 psi.
2 psi.
Up or down, depending on what direction you're going.
So while that is probably not a big deal for most people, because typically RVers are not in extreme weather, you know what I mean?
70 seems like a perfect day.
Yeah, we
if we
to
could just stay right at 70, that would be ideal.
Yes, we try to find that perfect weather. But if you find yourself in extreme weathers for long periods of time, then this would be actually important.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about it, 10 degrees equals 2 psi. So if my pressure was supposed to be 100 degrees, or 100 psi
at 70.
Mm-hmm. If I am in 0 degree weather,
mm-hmm.
and if you run the math on all this, then it should be at 86.
That's 70
psi.
degrees below.
Yes.
Which means that 7 of the 10s in that formula, so 7 times 2 psi is 14.
That's right. So that's how you get to the number. So again, most people are not going to be in these extreme temperatures. Now, what more than likely people would find is that, well, maybe I'm in 80 degree weather more or 90 degree weather more. Well, you know, if you're going to be in and out of 70 degree and 80 degree, it's not really enough to worry about, because I don't want people stressing out about 2 psi.
Okay, so this though is not what we talk about when we tell customers that, say you run for 20, 25 minutes, the PSI goes up. This is not a relationship to that.
No, good point. When we talk about cold tire pressure, this means preferably a tire that has sat overnight and had time to cool off. Okay, that is your cold tire pressure. When you start running down the road and the temperature rises because of the friction on the tire, then your pressure is going to go up because of that.
Right.
But that's different. Everything we're talking about is everything relating to cold tire pressure.
Cold tire, without running, preferably in the morning when it's had time to sit overnight.
Yes, so good point. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Another thing that we get asked questions about is just elevation. And this has much lesser of an effect on your PSI than you might think.
It doesn't feel like that though, because you definitely can have a bag of chips at sea level and go up a mountain and it pop. And so there is that thought process that, oh my gosh, if potato chips can pop, what are my tires going to do?
Yes, so sea level to about 5,000 feet is about 2 psi. Okay. So, you know, it's again, another thing.
Nothing to alarm you with the tire and its ability.
Another thing to point out is that under pressure is worse on a tire than over pressure. So again, you don't want to get tangled up in too much of the technical aspects of that. It's good to know, but in all cases, you should always err on the side of more pressure.
Being overinflated as opposed to under.
Like if you just don't know, always err on the side of more.
Right.
Yeah, always err on the side of more. So anyway, that is the effect that ambient temperature has on your tires. All right, let's move on to the next topic. And y'all are going to love us for this one, right? Because it is how to improve your gas mileage. And
your RV's gas mileage.
Yeah, keep more money in your pocket, right? No sense in just throwing it out the window if you don't have to, right?
More toys.
Yeah. So, all right, there are 4 identifiable ways that you can improve your gas mileage. And number 1 is that the more weight you carry.
This is the one I don't like.
Yeah, the more weight that you carry, that is going to have a negative effect on your fuel economy. So when you think about all the stuff you're packing for a trip, or even the things that you buy along the way, it can, just think about it. I mean, your engine's going to have to work harder to move more weight. So this is a conversation that we have all the time.
It is, because I know when we first started packing the RV from moving out of our house, because in the house I had a place setting for 8, you know, I'm thinking bring my place setting for 8, and nobody, I have never had setting for 8, and if I did, it was definitely paper plates. So there are some things like clothes, you bring so many clothes, but reality is we probably wore this about 4 or 5 days ago because we just rotate the same things over and over again because you like certain outfits. So we usually overpack clothes, overpack kitchen gadgets, buy too many things on our trips and don't take things out.
And then you have to consider the toys that you want to bring. So is it better to bring that kayak or bring whatever, or is it better just to maybe rent them when you get somewhere?
Yeah, we got to where we stopped carrying our kayak. It was very heavy. And we rent it now because we realized we were using it every once in a while, and not only the weight, but just the time and the effort of bringing it and all that was not worth it. And then finally, our tanks. You don't realize how much water, how much stuff is weighing you down in the RV just with our amount of fluids and water and tanks. Yeah,
so we always empty black and gray before we travel, and then our freshwater tank.
Assuming we're not going somewhere where we're not going to have water. If we're doing that, then we will carry more fresh water. But
typically we carry about 1/4 of our capacity in fresh water, just in case. You know what I mean? It's like you may pull over to a rest area, or maybe you get hung up somewhere and you weren't able to make it to your destination. If we know we're going to be off grid more, I mean, sometimes I might carry more, but in general, we'll carry about 1/4.
How much is a gallon of water? Is 8 pounds?
Yeah, it's like, I think, a little over 8, pounds. So it starts to add up really quick.
Especially if you have your large tanks.
So do an inventory, and we actually do well, not a complete inventory, but we do take a look at things that we carry with us from time to time and be like, okay, we haven't touched that in a long time. It's got to go.
Yep. So weight is the first one. What's our second tip?
Okay, the second one is something that we've kind of already talked about, and it's probably the biggest one, and this is tire pressure. So here's how this works. A tire that is at its optimal pressure will have the correct amount of drag as it relates to that tire on the ground. Think about it. If you're under pressure, your tire footprint will start to grow. You know what a flat tire looks like? It's the bottom of it really starts smushing out. Well, that's more surface area on the ground, and that increases the drag on the tire, and therefore your engine in your RV or your truck or whatever is having to work harder to move the RV down the road.
Yep, makes
sense. 100%, if you can keep the correct tire pressure, you will, without a doubt, improve your fuel economy.
Right.
Yeah, this is RVers should be 100% on board with this. I know, like the trucking industry, it is like at the top of their priority list.
Because it's a business, and every penny they can save. You know? I mean which
they
should
might
be the
have
same with us.
A fleet of trucks. I mean, you think about so anyway, for RVers. Oh, speaking of that, we do have a tire pressure monitoring system sitting out here. It's the TST brand. It's the brand we've used for 5 years. Keeping proper tire pressure is pretty simple, actually. You know, once you know what it's supposed to be, you can get a tire pressure monitoring system. We do have them at TechnoRV.com, and basically
it does all the work for you.
It does all the work for you. So you have a sensor. There's a couple of different sensor types. This is called a cap sensor. You screw this onto your valve stem, and once it's pressurized, it reports forward to a monitor that sits with you in your RV, the pressure and temperature of that tire.
So you don't have to go around and check it every time or every morning or whatever your normal routine is. You don't have to do that anymore. It will give you that while you're still sitting still before you take off for your trip and alarm you of anything. And then while you're driving down the road, if say you pick up a nail or there may be a defect or something in your tire that's causing issues, there could be a multitude of reasons, it will alarm you of that as well if you have low pressure, high pressure, high temp.
Yeah, and the truth of the matter is most RVers, not this group, not the TechnoRVers, not this group, but most RVers do not check their tire pressure like they should, and we see it all the time at rallies. We'll just walk around and we'll help people, and we'll be checking pressures and doing things, and it is very common for people to be underinflated.
It's shocking.
Yes.
Yep, it's shocking.
Okay, slow down. That's the next one.
You're really good about this, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not a pawpaw driver, but you are very good solid driver where you do not speed.
Number 3,
That's why I married you.
slow down, because I'm slow.
You're safe.
Okay, so the faster you go, all right, the higher the RPMs you're running, you're going to burn more gas. I mean, there is a difference in fuel economy between somebody driving 55 to 60 and somebody driving 70 and 75.
A lot of the cars will show you that now. The new cars with the panels, you can. I mean, you know it. You know if you speed up and you floor it.
Sometimes I don't want to see it.
I know.
I definitely don't want to be looking at that the whole time. I'll be doing like 30. But
the other thing is that tires, speaking of tires, I don't even know if this is in the article, but some tires are rated and shouldn't even be going over 55 or 60 or 65.
Point. Yeah. Every tire
has a maximum speed.
Yeah, has a speed limit rating on it. So, yeah, you should check that out. Just look up your manufacturer and see what it is. But as it relates to fuel economy,
yes,
slow down. What are you in a hurry for, right?
Yeah.
We're RVing.
That's right.
So slow down and you'll save some there.
Right.
The other one is, in general, just servicing your engine and your chassis, and making sure that your alignment is correct. I mean, if you think about it, if your alignment's off and you're not dead straight with your tires, and there's any variance to that, I mean, you can just imagine it. I mean, that's going to place a drag on things and make the engine work harder. And then you can just have things with your engine.
hurt your tires.
I remember we had a fuel filter problem at one point. It took me maybe, I don't know, a couple of weeks to kind of figure out like what is going on here. But whenever we changed it, it was quite the scene. There was like gunk in it, so
yeah, it was gross.
It was not good. So little things like that can really hurt your fuel economy. So we always take our RV in once a year. We take it in and get a full service of the chassis and the engine.
A lot of people do it themselves, especially if it's a.
Yeah, if that's your thing. Yeah, if that's your thing, do it. So that wraps it up. That's the 4 things. If you want to improve your fuel economy, just kind of go through those and see if you can make some little improvements there, and that'll help you out.
Yeah.
And hey, it's time to give something away. You excited?
Yeah.
So this is good stuff. So what we've decided is we'll put these videos out on the newsletter, and then we'll give something away. And we'll just see how that goes, and we'll just keep it up.
Sometimes it might be something big, sometimes it might be something small, but it can always be something. I can always come up with something.
This time it's something big.
Sometimes, yes, it is awesome this time.
So it is the Garmin 780 RV GPS, and basically you can enter your height, your weight, propane tanks, and it will route you according to your RV. So like in this big thing behind me, it's 13 feet tall. I'm not made for every road with my weight, my height, and all that. So I know it's going to route me on roads that are safe for my RV, and I love that about it. It's a 7-inch screen.
The other thing I like about it is, in addition to just the safety of knowing we're not going to be taken somewhere we shouldn't be, it gives you all of the RV campgrounds and all the types of locations that are relevant to RVers, whether it be truck stops or rest areas or national parks and campgrounds and stuff like that. So it's all in here, so I'm not having to transfer or use, look it up on Google and then put it in another GPS or transfer it or anything. It's just so simple to keep all of the places we've been and find all the locations we want to go all in here without using your cell signal, because it's satellite and a database. So
we're going to draw a name, and Tammy has, so here's the thing. The people that are in the drawing are the people that subscribe to our newsletter list.
Yes.
And so Tammy has put them into a random generator. Is it already pulled up?
It is. I'm just waiting to push the button.
So there's a couple of things that I want to say before we do this. If you are not subscribed to our newsletter, you should go subscribe to it. Just go to TechnoRV.com.
I need your email in order to enter you.
Yeah, exactly. So go to TechnoRV.com, and it's on the home page if you scroll down, right? Isn't that where it is?
And I may put a link in the description too.
Yeah, we'll put it in the description. So you can go subscribe there, because every month we'll give something away, and you got to be subscribed to the newsletter to be in on that. Also, if you're watching this via YouTube, which obviously you are, then you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because this is where we're actually going to do the giveaway is on these videos. So,
and if you subscribe, it'll notify you when we release one. So that's the advantage to that.
And then we'll talk about all things RV. So let's give it away. Who is the lucky winner with the random generator?
Dude, the wind's like
we got these
really coming on. All right, let's see.
Then the winner is
I know, it's thinking.
Oh, man, it is getting windy out.
It is just an email. I do not have their name, but it is dflick10 at not telling you the end.
What is it?
dflick10.
Okay. So
I will email you. This is actually yours, so I will put it back in the box and mail it to you. I did not do anything to it.
okay, so
congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, dflick10. That's the email address that just won, and so we will email you and we'll get your shipping address and ship that right out to you.
That's right.
So,
and when you get an RV780 from us, we send you a learning series, and it's 7 something 10. I don't even know how many videos we've made on how to use it. Kind of, even though Garmin has an instruction manual, we've kind of just pulled together the things that are the most common things that you're going to use as an RVer and made how-to videos.
Yeah.
And you'll get that as well.
And also another advantage of subscribing to the newsletter is like when we do things like this, we are going to run a sale on the RV780. We're not going to say it in the video because these videos will stay up for a long time.
Right.
But in the newsletter, we will give a discount to the RV780 if you're not the one that won. And we're also, because we've talked so much about tires, we're going to give a discount on the TST tire pressure monitoring system. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed and you want to know what the discount is, you can email us at info@technorv.com.
We'll put your name on the newsletter list, and we will make sure that you get the newsletter special for this month.
Yeah, we'll send you what the discount code is. So that's it. I think this went pretty good for the first time, and I'm excited to continue to do this every month and kind of talk about all the exciting things that we enjoy talking about.
I like it.
Hey, we hope y'all have a good rest of your day, and we will see you all next time.